I'm home, and I love it. I'm home, where I belong.
It's always nice to come home, but many Americans are at risk of foreclosure and losing their homes. Making home affordable from the U.S. government has already helped over 1 million struggling homeowners like these. The sooner you act, the better chance we can help you.
I'm home, where I belong.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program on LSN television right here in Lancaster, and also we are carried on a number of our radio affiliates throughout Fairfield County and beyond. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank the folks here at Fairfield Christian Academy. They actually produce and put this program together with absolutely no cost to the county or the community, and I do appreciate they do a great job. This week's special guest is Sergeant Will Tolly with the Lancaster Police Department. Good to see you, Will.
Thank you, Sheriff. It's quite an honor to be here. I appreciate the invite.
And typically we have guests from within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, sometimes outside, sometimes community leader. But I thought it would be really good this week, or maybe for the next couple weeks, depending on the time we have, to talk about things going on in Lancaster and things going on within the Lancaster Police Department. But before we start that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a law enforcement officer here in Fairfield County for about 21 years. You may not know this, but I actually started with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office as a deputy back in 1992. And I left there and went to the Fairfield Medical Center Police Department for just a short time, and have been with the Lancaster Police for 19 years.
Wow, so 19 years. So 21 years, what's the biggest change you've seen in 21 years around the Lancaster area?
Wow. I would have to say the increase in theft.
Increased in theft, huh?
Yeah, it's been quite a difference. It used to be that theft was a crime that became a felony much sooner than it does now, a higher level crime.
Yeah.
And now, boy, you can get away with quite a bit from when I started. So.
And so, since you've been with the Lancaster Police Department, you've worked in I know you were involved in some of the community relations kind of part of the police agency, and you've done a lot of different things, haven't you?
I was, indeed. I was assigned to the Community Services Unit for about 3 years, and the Community Services Unit at the Police Department handles all of the public relations. They handle the DARE program. Anytime that a police officer is kind of in front of the camera, or speaks to a community group, that's part of the Community Services Unit. So that was some very good experience for me, and I've actually been very blessed in the positions that I've held in the police department. So
did you enjoy that? You can go into a lot of community events and all those kind of things, speaking
I
to
did.
The folks? Yeah,
Sheriff. I'm kind of a people person.
Yeah.
I enjoy talking to folks, and that's part of the reason I got into law enforcement in the first place, and it's been a great ride.
Now, were you a DARE officer, or did you just kind of oversee the DARE program?
I was not a DARE officer myself, but I did supervise the DARE program.
Okay, and certainly a very worthwhile program.
Indeed.
For sure. So, how many DARE officers does Lancaster have?
We have 2 DARE officers that are assigned full-time to the Community Services Unit. Mm-hmm. And then there are also 2 court security officers that are assigned to that same unit.
So a popular program. I know a number of years ago I had an opportunity to go to a few of the graduations,
sure,
which was really kind of a fun event. And I was surprised, Sarge, at the number of parents and grandparents and friends and siblings that show up for this. The auditorium sometimes would be pretty full.
Yeah, it sure is. It is a very well-received program in our community. I know that the chief supports it very much, and also the city council and the city administration are well behind that program as well. So the community loves it, and so do we, and we really appreciate the interaction that the DARE program provides for our officers to speak to kids on their level.
Now, are you a Lancaster, did you grow up here in town?
I did not. I actually grew up on the north side of Columbus.
Okay.
Yep.
So how did you get from Columbus down to Lancaster?
Well, after I attained my associate degree in law enforcement from Columbus Community College,
Yes.
Columbus State.
Yeah.
I put out my application at several different agencies, and Fairfield County was the one that picked me up. So I came down here and started my career there, and the rest is
And you
history.
shipped on to Lancaster here after a period of time?
Yep, that's exactly right.
And I guess for our viewers and listeners, what's kind of the main difference between like the sheriff's office and the municipal police agency?
Well, the big difference that I saw were obviously the jurisdiction that you have.
Yeah.
In the county. It's wide open. It's,
Okay.
Going on calls for 15 to 20 minutes. It might take you to get to a certain call, and especially the backup.
Right.
When you get to a call, as you well know, having worked in both of those agencies yourself, it takes a lot longer to get backup when you're out in the county. So you really have to be quick on your feet. You have to think quickly and be able to direct and control people.
Yeah, I've thought the same thing, because it's kind of a different dynamic, because as you mentioned, I came from the Columbus Police Department.
Sure.
And in the Columbus Police Department, you would have a cruiser district within a precinct, and your backup could be typically 2-3 minutes away, because you had a lot of cars in an area where out in the county over 500 square miles, so your closest unit could be 10 miles away.
You're not kidding.
And
And
so-
that gets to be pretty nerve-wracking when you're a new deputy. But it sure is a heck of a way to learn quickly.
Right.
And like I said, you learn to react very quickly when you're out there by yourself.
Yeah, you improve those people skills real quick, don't you? If you got to
That's-
kill some time, or you got some guy that's out there that's a little out of hand, or maybe resisting or something like that.
That's for sure.
Lancaster, recently in the paper, there's a lot of things about a lot of robberies that have been going on in the city of Lancaster. So
Indeed.
tell us a little bit about that, how long that's been going on, and what are some things folks need to know?
Well, the most recent rash of robberies that we've had from the beginning of this year, 2013, there have been 10 aggravated robberies in the city of Lancaster. That is unbelievable for us. That's unheard of. It doesn't happen like that. However, this is something in this day and age that we have to deal with, and we're prepared to do that. We have extremely good detectives in the police department, and they've taken the bull by the horns, and they're actively investigating those robberies. There are probably many things, many contributing factors to why something like this might happen or occur, but I would certainly blame it on, as many people I'm sure that come to this show would do, on the opiate problem and also on the economy. Financial times are rough.
So when you mention aggravated robberies, are you talking about most of the time they have some type of firearm when they go into the store?
Yes, aggravated typically means they have a firearm or a knife, some sort of weapon
Okay.
that they're brandishing and forcing these people to give them money.
And what type of businesses are they hitting?
What they've hit so far typically are convenience stores or things that they can get in and out of very quickly.
And not to give away a lot of information, but do you have, now when you talk about 10, do you think this is like the same group of individuals, same suspect, or do you think it's a combination?
We don't think it's the same suspect. We do think it's a combination of suspects. Not all of what we call the MO or their method of operation are similar. So those are all things for us to consider, but even the descriptions are not necessarily similar. So we're not lumping all of these crimes into one basket. We're kind of taking them as they come, and each one is investigated to the fullest that we can. So.
And most of these, is there some kind of video of the offense?
Surprisingly enough, no. In this day and
Okay.
age, you might think that because the technology exists that there would be some sort of surveillance video or at least an audio
Right.
recording of the incident, but not often does it happen. We really encourage our community and our business owners to install surveillance cameras if
Yeah.
they have them.
Right, right. Well, you know, it's important today, and certainly the cost has diminished over the years. In fact, one of our employees within the sheriff's office, he has set cameras out all around his house. He can watch them from the office, and it was relatively inexpensive. So not a bad thing to have.
Not at all. I recently looked it up on the internet as I was preparing to speak to the media and that type of thing surrounding these robberies, and it appeared to me that there was a cost of about $300 to get about 2 or 3 cameras to set up within your home or your business and be able to record that on a pretty decent camera.
Let's speak to the businesses for just a moment. What
Sure.
are some things that a business could do to kind of help protect themselves, make themselves a better witness, position of cash register and those type of things?
Well, certainly security cameras are a big thing. Also, they can talk to their employees about how to respond during a robbery. Just basically what they need to do is comply with whatever the robber wants. It's not worth it to hold on to cash or property. Just give
Right.
them whatever they want. Make it as quick and painless as possible. Let them get out of there. They can protect themselves by keeping things out of the windows. I think when officers are driving by and they're able to look inside of a business and see
Good point.
see the customers and also the employees, it's a lot easier for us to respond. As a matter of fact, just late last year, one of our officers saw a robbery in progress and was able to foil it. He chased the suspect down, and we were able to foil that crime and also another robbery that had occurred just a week or so prior. So we ask them to be vigilant. We ask them to kind of keep an eye out for suspicious people, and most importantly for us, call 911 or set off your silent alarm immediately if you see something suspicious. Let us determine whether or not that person is committing a crime. That's super important for us to be able to get on our way to help out.
Yeah, lots of great points. And then I might also add that one thing we ask that you go ahead and as soon as you call 911, call into the police agency, the sheriff's office, go ahead and write that information down as far as what the suspect looks like, those kind of things, because
Sure.
It's amazing as the passage of time how you start to forget or you start reading in misinformation, especially when you start talking to other witnesses.
Absolutely.
They can kind of skew your thought process.
It sure does. Yeah, we'd like to refer to it as contamination of a witness.
Yeah.
That's why people might notice when we come to the scene, we try to separate everyone because we don't want them to influence each other when it comes to the information that they're going to give us. We want that fresh information so that we can compare and contrast and make sure that we're trying to find the right person.
Sergeant Will Tolly, our guest today. Sarge, I'd like to have you back next week.
Sure.
And maybe talk about home safety, maybe some things people can do as far as protecting their homes. Talk a little bit about the robberies that we're having, how that compares maybe with years gone past. And I know also recently there was a look at crime stats in years past compared to 2012. So I'd like to have you back next week.
Okay.
Be great. This is our
Thanks again
detective,
for having me.
You bet. Detective Will Tolly, Sergeant with the Lancaster Police Department, the Detective Bureau Commander. Quite a responsibility. Does a terrific job, and Chief Bailey has always a lot of good things to say about you, as he does the other members of the Detective Bureau and the Lancaster Police Department. We do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. It is certainly an honor and a pleasure to be your sheriff. And again, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the students here at the Fairfield Christian Academy that put this program together. They produce it. At any given time, we'll have 5 cameras in here. J.T. Burcham and the group putting these programs together again, at no cost to the county, and certainly it is a great opportunity as your sheriff and part of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office to talk to you, the viewers and listeners, about things going on within Fairfield County as far as the law enforcement component is concerned. Well, the clock on the wall says we've got to go. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners. Until next week, if you're out there driving, buckle up, be careful, God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
Hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.